This is Off the Record, a radio playlist where I help you discover new artists and new music. You guys, we have Lily Forte here, indie rock artist who just released her newest album, Don't Gild The Lily. Lily, how are you today?
I'm so good. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to yap with you. We kind of already started this first question because I saw your stack of CDs, but who are your musical influences growing up? And not so much like the artists you were discovering, but who was playing music around you? What do you remember them playing?
Totally. Yeah, I always credit this to my parents for being really big into rock and roll. So obviously Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, but we talked about this a little bit earlier, but my mom was also a huge Carole King fan, or she still is. I mean, we still always jam to Carole King, but like some of my fondest memories are being in the car, playing Tapestry and just singing, singing along with the CDs. I miss CDs. I wish I have my collection. I don't use it as often as I should, but bring back CDs.
Is there like a favorite song on Tapestry that you come back to often?
That's such a good question. Well, when I think about nostalgia, especially like growing up singing along with my mom, it would be I Feel the Earth Move. Like we would just,
Ooh.
that would get us going. That was really good. But
Well, let's talk
yeah,
a
I
little.
think that's my
Yeah, go
favorite. I
ahead.
don't know. We could talk about this forever, but yeah, I'll just go with that one for now.
It's honestly a no skip album. So that is such a hard question too at the same time.
Totally, totally. Yeah, she's so good.
Let's talk a little bit about your creation process and what was it like putting this project together? What is kind of like your songwriting process like?
Yeah, I mean, I've been making music for like 5 years. I mean, I've been singing my whole life, but I've been
Mhm.
making music now for around 5 years. And, it started out with me just writing songs at the piano in my room and then bringing that into a producer and just kind of doing that, doing a lot of it on my own. But through this project, I've really opened up my collaboration, and that just changed the game for me, I would say. I mean, I would still come up with some ideas on my own beforehand, but a lot of the songs were written in session with
Yeah.
different collaborators and writers, and that was really fun. And I wanted it, I grew up singing a lot of classic rock. I was in a classic rock cover band growing up, and I wanted
Wow.
yeah, I mean, like I wanted to lean into that when making this album. So a lot of, I collaborated with this guy. His name is James Kane. He is amazing. He was like the main producer on the album, and we recorded everything in his garage for the most part. So it had that, sort of classic rock feel, just making bands in a garage. So that
When you were pulling inspiration for the project together, who were some of the artists or bands that were like frequently coming up on the playlist?
Yeah, it was definitely a mix of, I mean, mostly old school stuff. So Patsy Cline was huge. I just got
Mm,
super into Patsy Cline. The Doors, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, but then obviously Lana. I mean, of
yeah.
course, Lana Del Rey, Gaga, Amy. Yeah, I mean, those would probably be the most modern influences, but for the most part, it was old school.
I love like this strong girl power that kind of like backs up the work. Like all those
Totally.
artists that you mentioned are such strong independent women within the industry. Like that
Yeah.
definitely comes across when listening to the project.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I always like to say, like, I need to channel my inner diva, and those are
Yeah.
definitely some divas. So I like to carry that energy.
So let's you say you get into the studio, it's kind of like this jam session vibe. Where are you pulling from? Are you pulling from the notes app? Or are you kind of someone that's like, I'm gonna strum along and let's find it and play as we go?
Yeah, I'm definitely a pen and paper girl, that's for sure. I mean, I do have a running notes tab in my phone because obviously sometimes it's just easier when you're out
Yeah.
and about. But I write all my songs mostly in my notebook. And yeah, I'm totally. I mean, like I said, I normally start at the piano, so I'll come in with a little bit of an idea at the keyboard, and then we go from there. But I mean, it was fun. I had friends come in and play guitar, drums. We had two different trumpet players on the album,
Wow.
so it was just very collaborative, and it felt like a jam session. Like that's how I wanted it to feel, just like in a garage, and we're just making music.
Let's talk a little bit about the title, Don't Gild the Lily. What does that represent to you?
Totally. I mean, I love talking about this because it's my debut album. I've released EPs before, but this was like what I consider my debut. And I was like, do I do this self-titled? And I was like, you can be more creative than that. Like, let's do something cooler than just Lily Forte. So I was like, maybe I can incorporate my name. So I started researching. I was looking into like lily flowers or something like that. And then I came across the phrase to gild the lily or don't gild the lily. And I don't think I even knew what that meant beforehand.
Mm,
But basically, it just means like, beauty isn't found in excess, just own every part of you. And that in itself is beautiful. So I was
yeah.
like, I'm running with this. This is awesome. So yeah, to me, it just means embracing the good, the bad, whatever it might be, because all of that it's you.
Yeah. I'm really curious about what it was like over time developing and carving out your sound? Because I mentioned to you off camera, it's so unique and your voice is so special. We're not hearing a voice like yours amongst other artists. And like you were mentioning to me, you draw a lot of inspiration from like the blues and the classic
Mhm.
rock. What was it like kind of cultivating your sound?
Yeah, I think it took a while to arrive where I am now. I mean, that's natural though. I feel like artists are always changing. But I started putting out music in I think it was 2020, late 2020, early 2021, which I was super into like the indie pop world at that
Mhm.
time. I think most people were. I feel like that was, just a big era for like Claro and that sort of thing. And I mean,
Yeah.
I still love that, but that was like all I was listening to. So of course you start making music similar to the stuff you're listening to.
Hmm.
So I was in that indie pop world, but like I said, I grew up singing jazz, the blues, classic rock, and that's the stuff that always kind of I got really inspired by.
Yeah.
So I was like, just lean into this. Like, little 12-year-old me was like singing Janis Joplin and Led Zeppelin, and I'm like, lean into 12-year-old Lily. Like, what would she do?
Mm.
And I kind of just ran with that.
I love that. I always love to ask, is there a lyric or line from the project that you come back to that you're like, ooh, like that's the one I cooked with?
Oh, yeah, it's funny. I feel like it's changed because when I first put the album out, I mean, it's still this, like always. It's so
Mhm.
simple too. It's just, I'll keep singing. I'll keep singing. That's what I say in Loners on the
Oh,
West. And it just like, I don't know, it's a through line for me because it's definitely tough being, an independent artist and being in LA and just trying to find my way. So that's always just been a through line. But it's kind of similar now. But when I read the questions, I was like, I would probably say, and if I want it, I'm gonna get it. That's my
yeah.
favorite right now. That's from
Ooh,
Beauty
that's
and
a good one.
yeah, it's a little diva, but it's true. If you really want
No,
something,
but it's
do
a
it.
manifestation. You know what I mean? That's
Exactly.
that's the big part of it. Well, let's talk a little bit about audience hopes. What are you hoping they take away from it when listening to the project in whole?
I mean, like we talked about the title, just embracing, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it might be. But if you have a dream, fight for it. I think that's what I
Yeah.
want. I mean, you can hear that from start to finish in the album, just talking about what it's like being a singer, trying to find my way. So I would say, yeah, just freaking like it doesn't have to be in music. It's like in anything. Just if you want it, go for it.
I
So
love
that's what I would
that.
say. Yeah, it's simple, but it's true. It's just how
No,
I feel.
truly. Well, it's time for my favorite question. I asked you to bring three songs from three other artists, and feel free to elaborate a little bit on why you chose these.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll just talk about some artists maybe. I don't have specific songs, but their discographies are great. So, someone recently is Olivia C. DeCall. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
Ooh, I'm not.
I feel like you will love her vibe. She's super cool. Very also just like she has that like sultry, diva vibe, as we say. So I would say she would be number one right now. And then I've always loved Adam Melcher. I don't know if you
Oh,
his
yes.
last name, but I'm obsessed with his music. He's always been a constant since like 2021, and he'll always be on that list for me.
Oh.
I feel like he's so underrated. I
Yeah.
feel like people know him, but they're not like he needs to be played more.
What's his most recent album? Is
Oh
it The
my
Art of
gosh.
Living?
Wait, let me look it up. 'Cause yes, he's so my favorite song by him ever is actually I have a song I can recommend for him. 30 Minutes. I just think it's perfect.
Ooh.
Wait, his The Diary of Living. I knew that we were
There we
close.
go. There we
Yeah,
go.
The Diary of Living. Yeah, so good. Like he also has that sort of like he has the pop vibe, but it's still like vintage roots, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It has like
um,
that folk undertone to it that's nicely
that
delivered.
70s, 60s vibe for sure. He's so talented. And then lastly, recently I've been listening to a lot of Avery Cochran. She's like a pop.
Ooh,
She's been on the come up. I love her stuff.
that's so good. Well, Lily, thank you so much for coming and gabbing with me today, and congrats on the debut.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This was so fun.
I appreciate it, and it's now time to hear my favorite song. This is Miles to Go.